Hi, this is Chris Bentson, and it's time for another edition of the reSource Minute. Today's topic is market valuations for your practice versus corporate valuations, because they are different, but not by much. There's a notion, I think, out there that you can get a lot more money for your practice if you sell it to a DSO, and I want to walk through that language. So in today's world, if you just want to sell your practice to another doctor, let's use this example. You have a practice that's collecting $1 million at the average overhead that we see after we take out all the doctor perks, which would be around 57% on average. And that leaves net income or profit of $430,000. A standard multiplier of that profit on average in the open market doctor-to-doctor sales is 180%. And so that yields a value of $774,000, which you often hear translated to 77.4% of collections. That's kind of the middle of the market. Now, on the corporate side, things are valued a little bit differently. And so let's look at that. You've heard this term EBITDA. What does that stand for? Earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. And so because they're not doctors, they have to look at your practice a little bit differently. Let's take the same $1 million practice in collections, same adjusted overhead of 57%, yields the same net income or profit of $430,000 in this example. So far, everything's the same, but because an investor is not a doctor and can't produce the $1 million, they have to pay an orthodontist to do that. And so we're going to deduct from the profit $300,000, or around 30%, which is an average in the marketplace, for doctor compensation to produce the $1 million. That leaves EBITDA, earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization, at $130,000. You'll hear that they multiply that 5 or 6 times. I've used the higher number here as an example, 6 times EBITDA, and that equals $780,000, which compares to our $774,000 average practice sale. And the only thing that really manipulates it is how much they're willing to pay the orthodontist to do the work. So we're not seeing a great premium for practices unless you're what's called a platform practice, which may be a $4, $5, $6, $7 million practice with multiple sites, multiple doctors, and some infrastructure on management and buying systems and so forth. But for our middle market orthodontist, the values that the DSOs are paying are about the same. I thought you'd want to know that. Thanks for listening to the reSource Minute.